Annoying.
He's like if Shaggy, but an even dumber alien Shaggy from Scooby-Doo showed up in a Star Wars movie and like, ooh, look at me.
Right.
I'm just falling down and I'm in the way. Oh. In your own words, what attracted to you and gave momentum to you about Darth Jar Jar?
Okay, fair enough. I've been a Redditor for like 7.5 years, and I
a Redditor. What do you mean by a Redditor for our older listeners?
Fair enough. Reddit.com is a big forum website where you could talk about, debate, really, just about any topic you can imagine. And if you can't find it, you can create your own subreddit. And the subreddit I was on the day in question, when the Jar Jar is a Force user Sith, I was cruising the Star Wars subreddit, and this guy, Lumpa Waru, call him Lumpy, he's kind of like the OG, he came up with this theory, super thought out. He had like pictures and GIFs or GIFs or however the young kids are calling them. He had literally links and everything. It was great. It was, if you hated Jar Jar, which I didn't like Jar Jar at all, but I was bored, right? So I'm reading this thing and it captivates you. Like if you read this, we call the OG theory, and it later became the Darth Jar Jar theory because that's a name that I came up with. Because immediately when I read it, my wife and I own a marketing company. We build websites and whatnot. I said, dude, I want to build you a website just to house this theory so it doesn't get lost to time. Because people have theories all the time.
Sure.
And stuff blows up and goes viral on Reddit, and then the next day you don't hear about it. Well, little did I know that this thing was still going to be around, 6.5 years later. So I built the website, and I also built the subreddit, Darth Jar Jar, and it was crazy. Like, so we would have several hundred people on at any given moment in the Darth Jar Jar subreddit. And literally, we were like constantly being told we're like number one in your category, because it's just you're growing so fast. And at the same time, I built the website originally just to house the theory, his theory.
Right.
But so the original content was his theory.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I definitely am no way saying I came up with the Darth Jar Jar theory. And to be quite honest, he's not necessarily the first. He's the first that put it and articulated it so well that everybody's like, I get it. Because immediately, from what I understand, immediately after The Phantom Menace came out and the true fans and everybody else started panning it and everything else, there was a Darth Binks theory where he's got to be something other than what we're seeing.
Right. He couldn't be that awful of a character.
You couldn't literally be that much garbage. So, and that's kind of, I didn't like it. From that movie, I didn't like him. I didn't like, and this may be controversial, I hate pod racing. I hate that whole concept of So either way. So, yeah.
So what made him awful in The Phantom Menace?
He's annoying, and everything he does, he just gets in the way. But
is it the way he speaks, the way he moves,
everything?
Yeah, you'd be better off saying what you liked about him.
So there are few things to say positively.
Maybe not any.
Okay.
He's like
on the surface
annoying.
He's like if Shaggy, but an even dumber alien Shaggy from Scooby-Doo showed up in a Star Wars movie and like, ooh, look at me.
Right.
I'm just falling down and I'm in the way. Oh.
Right, but the thing is, it's George Lucas was like so genius. I can't chew ice, so I had to swallow it. That was fun. So, but George Lucas was so genius because
was that a Jar Jar thing?
Yes.
Yes, probably. I'm channeling the Dark Lord right now. So, but George Lucas was so genius because he would put things like, okay, so Jar Jar's annoying. He's saying something stupid. He's talking like a moron, and he's walking around with Qui-Gon and and Obi-Wan, and he's saying something stupid.
And these are serious,
absolutely,
Jedi.
These
leaders.
Obi-Wan is arguably the best Jedi ever. Right. Yeah. So he's walking with them in the Naboo forest, right? And then all of a sudden, and you're annoyed. You're like, dude, just stab this guy with your lightsaber already. So, and all of a sudden he does this crazy flip that we've come to think now is actually him exhibiting the Force, right? Because there's no reason to do this amazing flip in front of two people you know are Jedis unless you're trying to like either say something or be super subtle about something. But that was kind of the first inkling, and that was one of the big linchpins in Lumpa Waru's theory that kind of got me thinking, man, that's
very coordinated, like Olympic
Super
swimmer,
coordinated.
diver.
Like this goofball that was
style.
stumbling over his words 2 seconds ago just did something like that. Yeah, that like Olympic divers wish they could do.
Right.
And so the way he spoke in that scene was not only annoying, but was that a special language that people from Naboo spoke that way? Or was it unique to him?
Oddly enough, he has a little bit different dialect than the other Gungans. Yeah, so that's another part of, I think, an additional theory. I don't know if Lumpy said that in his theory, but if Jar Jar was in fact not as stupid as bumbling as he did, he probably created that way he talked in order to throw people off. But it's so genius it threw off the audience, like the whole fourth wall, like
Right.
like literally reality and fiction merged, thinking this guy's horrible.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay, so all of those things are coming together. Super annoying. He's with these two legendary Jedi characters.
right, and just in the
And then what
entire movie,
happens?
he's just stumbling over himself. But if you go back with like, you go back now, or when you see the theory, and yeah, if you please jump in if you want to say this. If you go back now, if you've seen the movie, you're like, that guy's garbage. Then you read the theory and you go back and watch it with fresh eyes. You're like, yes. Oh man, it's like you don't understand how many people have been converted to be Jar Jar acolytes, Darth Jar Jar acolytes, because of this. Yeah, this one guy's theory.
So
He almost it's almost like the drunken. Remember the Jackie Chan drunken kung fu movies, where when he would drink, it would make his kung fu seamless, but it looked sloppy,
but he would get it done.
Drunken master. That's actually part of his theory.
drunken
Of course.
He showed. I think of that because it's like he could just boom.
But also, as I recall, in that movie, he became indebted to one of the Jedis, right? Because
Qui-Gon,
right?
or yeah, he
or
had
manipulated the
he had-
situation.
absolutely, that's kind of what he did. But
Right.
he made it look as if Qui-Gon saved his life,
Right.
So he'd have a life debt, so he could hop off this planet, right? But if you look at it, he jumped on Qui-Gon's. He really saved Qui-Gon's life. So it's just how he said it.
Right. But the intent was for him to get in with these two
Oh, absolutely.
important people.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
And so he, I guess, is given to them by the leaders of
Yeah,
Naboo.
he was going to be sent off to die essentially, but Qui-Gon said, much like the Wookiees, I guess, if your life is saved, you owe them a life debt.
Right.
So he took him with him because Qui-Gon said because he needed a navigator to get out of there. But
That was Liam Neeson, right?
Yes.
correct, yeah,
Qui-Gon.
the great Liam Neeson.
Right. Okay, so then when you go back and look with fresh eyes, you start seeing a method to his
Oh, absolutely.
craziness.
You definitely do. And can I just want to circle back to how popular this concept and theory was, right? This was, if memory serves, and I'm getting older, if memory serves, this was right before the Force Awakens come out, right? So it's everybody's speculating who's Snoke. So part of the theory, a little small piece of the theory, was that Jar Jar was actually Snoke. Well, that didn't turn out to be, but it probably could have been better than what it
Was
ended
he
up being.
controlling him
No, well,
somehow?
in canon, no. You get a much dumber concept in canon, but in theory, and just to say, there's countless other theories that have spawned off of this theory, which you can find on the subreddit Darth Jar Jar, absolutely. Which you got to get on Reddit if you're. Are you on Reddit now?
I'm now since we had our discussion.
Absolutely. Great.
Starting.
Yeah, cool. So Fred,
Okay.
yeah, you should get on Reddit.
Okay.
Then you can
I
read
can
all this.
understand it.
If you didn't want to get on Reddit, darthjarjar.com, that's my website, has all the theories and all of self-promo in 3, 2, 1, all my fan fiction, right, that I did, the Darth Jar Jar tales, which was, I'd say 75% of the people liked it. Other people said it was cringe, and I live in my mom's basement, but my mom doesn't have a basement. So,
No,
So-
joke's on them. This
Nice
is Texas.
try,
Yeah,
buddy.
exactly. We put everything in our garages.
That's right. You should have said
Didn't look
garage.
flooded.